Alright, this video is for exam 4, page 5, section 1, and we will be starting. So, number 5 is consider the function f of x equals x squared plus 6x minus 2. Provide a left-hand endpoint estimation of the area under the graph of f of x between x equals -3 and x equals 5 using n equals 4 rectangles. So first step is to figure out where our bounds is. So our bounds starts at -3 and ends at 5. So that is our bounds. And our bounds within our bounds we have 4 rectangles that they want us to measure. So what we're going to do now is find our delta x, aka our change in x, to see how big our triangles are going to be. So delta x equals final, which is 5, our final x, minus initial, so in that case -3, so it'll turn plus 3, over n, which in this case is 4, and this will give us 2. So delta x is equal to 2. Next up is to figure out which equation to use. So it wants us to use the left-hand estimation. So the equation wants us to start off at -3. So with our area under the estimation of area under the graph, we're going to start with our delta x of 2 times f of -3, as that's our starting point. Then we want to add, and we want to add in increments of 2. So in this case, we want to add 2 to -3. So our next x of x we're going to add is f of -1. And we will do this for 2 more times. Plus f of -1 plus 2 is 1. And then finally, one more time, 1 plus 2 is 3. So final one, rectangle, is going to be f of 3. So now that we have our equation, now we need to solve for each one of these f of x's. So this will take a little while, but we will do it right here. So first off, let's start from left to right. So f of -3 equals -3 squared plus 6 times -3 minus 2. And that together will equal -11. And so we'll do that again with f of -1. That will equal -1 squared plus 6 times -1 minus 2, and that will give us -7. Next is f of 1. It was 1 squared 6 times 1 is 2 equals 5. And finally, f of 3, which equals 3 squared plus 6 times 3 minus 2, which gives us 25. So now that we have all of our f of x, we now plug in those values. So start off with -11 minus 7 plus 5 plus 25. Yes. So now we just simply solve for this. So all these together will be equal to 2 times 12, And so our final answer is 24. Our estimation of area under the curve with these conditions is 24. Alright, now next question, number 6. Suppose that a particle moves along a curve with acceleration defined by a of t equals 24t minus 2. Find the equation of position s of t if the initial position started at 2 meters with a velocity of 2 meters per second at t equals 1. So we will start off by having a of t. So a of t equals 24t minus 2, and they want us to find s of t. And if you remember, derivative of s of t equals v of t, and also s double prime of t equals v prime of t equals a of t. So in other words, what we want to do is go backwards. We want to take our a of t and then find v of t, and with that find s of t. So we will start, and the way we're going to find our first step of v of t is to take the interval of a of t, as that will give us v of t. So v of t equals interval of a of t, hold on, dt, because our variable is dt. I'm sorry, not dt. Our variable is t in this case. So that will give us interval of 24t minus 2 dt. That'll equal to 24t divided by 2 minus 2t plus c, and that will give us a final equation. I almost forgot the square, sorry about that. The new power will be 2 for this one. So our v of t will be 12t squared minus 2t plus c. And as we could tell, we have our plus c, but we don't know what that value is. So in order to find that value, we are going to see what v of 1 is, because if we find our v of 1, we know that at v of 1, our equation will equal 2, as it says right here. So we'll have 12 times 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus c equals 2. And so we will solve for c. So in this case, 12 minus 2 plus c equals 2. So in that case, we add these two together. So I'll move a bit more to the left. 10 plus c equals 2. And so in that case, that means that c must equal -8. So now we will rewrite our v of t, and so v of t equals 12t squared minus 2t minus 8. And now next step, will be to find the integral of b of t in order to find a s of t. So s of t equals integral of b of t dt equals integral of 12t squared minus 2t minus 8 equals 12t to the third over 3 minus 2t squared over 2 minus 8t plus, and we need a new variable because we cannot put the same variable c, as that would imply that these two numbers will be the same. And we don't know if those two numbers are the same. So in order to make sure we don't mix them up, we put it as a new variable. So in this case, we'll choose k as technically not correct spelling with constant, but same sound. So in this case, our s of t will be equal to 4t to the third minus t squared minus 8t plus k. And now, just as before, we need to solve for our variable. So in this case, the problem tells us that the position started at 2. So s at 0 equals 2. So in that case, our variables for 0 to the third minus 0 to the second minus 8 times 0 plus k equals 2. So in that case, k must equal to 2. And so our final answer is that s of t equals 4t to the third minus t squared minus 8t plus 2. And so that is all. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.